I'm here with Victor Chang, a exceptional parent of an exceptional student. So first, tell me who your student is that's in the Spring Splash tournament.
Jacob Chang.
Jacob Chang. All right, and what's his level?
He's about 2192.
Oh, wow. That's an expert. Right on the cusp of National Master.
Yep.
That's excellent. So what's the first goal then? Is it to get National Master, or is he looking all the way to FM or higher titles?
His goal from 6 was, from day one, almost GM. Like, he's just said, I want to be a GM. And I'm like, they start you off at your 800 rating, and I was like, that's a long ways to go. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's always been his goal.
That's fantastic. Wow. GM is tough to reach.
Yeah. There's not a lot of them.
Yeah. And how far did you travel to get here?
We live up in the East Bay, about 40 miles east of San Francisco.
Okay.
400
So,
some odd miles. Probably.
wow, 400 miles to come to this event. Why travel so far?
There's, once you start getting to that level, probably above 2,000, it starts to be harder and harder to find tournaments.
Okay. And why did you choose a 1,000 GM event?
Well, they do a good job of, getting the GMs to play and getting the overall rating of the tournament to be high enough where, you're not at risk of losing rating points if you lose, and you kind of stand to gain. And if you lose against a GM, you don't really lose anything.
Yeah.
You gain the experience, and it's still a lot of fun.
Are you excited for Jacob to have chances to play GMs and beat them?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's that's kind of why you play, right? Is this of any sort of sport, you get a chance to play a professional or someone
Right.
that's attained that level of status. It would be like saying, all of a sudden I'm going to go play, LeBron James in basketball. Like, you can't do that, right? There's no way we could.
Well, you can put your hands up. You're tall enough. But.
Yeah, but there's no real playing there. So.
Right. That's excellent. And how has chess impacted Jacob's life?
I mean, it can be a very isolating sport in some ways, right? Because you're on your own and you're studying. But it's his passion, right? So he's passionate about it. He's studying it. He's practicing all the time. He's reading books. He's got his lessons. So it's really given him structure, and it's also helped him to take a lot of the principles of how to learn,
Yeah.
right? And how he learns, and take them to different parts of his life, whether it's school or just day to day.
Yeah. Along with that, how will it enrich his academic opportunities, you think?
It's interesting because in some ways it takes away from just purely academics, but I think it really does help him to realize if I put in effort, if I enjoy doing something, I study and work at it, I can get better. I
Right.
can make that incremental improvement, as opposed to kind of this, whether you want to call it growth mindset or whatever. It's it's not you're either smart or stupid.
Right.
It's like no, I can work at this. I can improve and get better.
Do you still expect him to get straight A's?
No. We've never actually made that expectation.
Okay.
Yeah, although he does,
Okay, there it comes
he
up.
stresses out about it, but we're like, we'd much rather you just enjoy, school, enjoy learning, and not worry about grades, and so.
Yeah. So how do you think 1,000 GM will enrich Jacob's academic life and other students?
It's sometimes it's hard to tell, but I just think it brings him. One, it just brings him a lot of joy to play.
Yeah.
And so he feels like the most like himself when he's got a tournament on the calendar. Obviously, it's a high level of hard work and effort as well as talent to be in these tournaments, and just the constant being willing to kind of put yourself in the arena to battle, right? We've seen a lot of people that were more talented when they started, potentially, but now they're not playing anymore because they couldn't handle the ups and downs of, winning and losing.
Right, right. And what would you say to parents that have a budding young student that hasn't played many events yet, hasn't gone to any of these big events? What would you say to them?
I think it's a great opportunity to show up at these tournaments and get some experience and keep it fun. Too many parents, you see them like kind of chiding their kid afterwards or whatever, and it's like, that's the last thing you want to do, right? You just, let them go through their ups and downs and their emotions, and that's a normal part of winning and losing, but as long as they keep showing up,
yeah,
that's the best part.
And the tough part, the money. How much does it cost to attend an event like this?
Well, you're usually, $70 a game, $180 a night for a hotel, and then whether you drive or fly in, unless you book out, months in advance, it can be, several $1,000s, right?
Yeah.
So it does add up.
Yeah, for any of our potential sponsors that want to sponsor students like Jacob, why is that expense valuable?
It's just an opportunity for sponsors, especially to get the word out about, their involvement in the community, right? Because this is the next generation of chess players, as well as, I think a lot of these people playing the game are going to be, look at the founder of OpenAI. He was a chess player, right? So it's clear that it's a springboard if you don't continue on in chess. If you do continue on in chess, it's still a great game, as well as, it motivates so many students to realize that, they can learn and they can improve their lives and use their head to do it.
Right, I appreciate that. And what do you think is one of the hardest things in being a chess parent? What is the hardest thing to do, or?
I think it is to, like I said, maintain that straight face when they win or lose, or when they're going through their ups and downs and their emotions. Especially, because you start getting invested and you learn a little bit about the game, and there's those times where you'll analyze it on Stockfish or whatever afterwards, and you're like, oh, let's say he had a win, and he goes from a win to a loss, and you feel that pain through your kid, and obviously they feel it even more than us because they've just spent 4 or 5 hours invested in that game, but you feel their pain.
Yeah, I understand. Are you a chess player?
I wouldn't say I'm a player. I recreationally play.
Okay. So you understand the rules, though.
Yeah, I understand the rules, and I taught him the game when he was 6. And
that's fantastic.
then he went on beyond me, and I said, "This is no longer worthwhile. I'm not helping you. I'm probably hurting you now."
Yeah. When did he beat you the first time? If you want to say.
It's probably, I tried the scholar's mate and the fried liver attack for the first 20 games, and then once he figured out how to stop it, then it was like, uh-oh. Right, so probably within like the first 40 games he started beating me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you saw his talent. So for the future, what do you expect him to achieve?
I think it just opens up a whole world of possibilities of what he wants to do in the future. Right now he's focused on trying to obtain, some titles, and hopefully we can be a part of that and help him and support him in that. But if he decides to pivot and change routes, I think it just opens up the door.
Great, that's fantastic. Thank you for joining me. Last words. Anything nice that you'd like to say about 1000 GM? The floor is yours.
Oh, absolutely. It's great that you guys have started this organization, this nonprofit here in North America, because now, we don't have to think about going to Budapest or, Europe and getting into those circuits, right? Which is time away from home, time away from family. You have to plan the logistics of, what do you do for school? Do you do it in the summer? And
Yeah.
it's just a huge, even larger expense, right, to go international. And so this is great, fantastic. We're all for 1,000 GM and hope you guys continue to, run these tournaments and obviously support the GMs that you're able to support.
That's fantastic. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Coach Q.
Good luck to your son.
Thanks.